Chinese property crisis will probably not be resolved anytime soon. After their latest research, get this, they found at least 48 million unfinished homes have already been sold. That's more than the entire housing stock of Germany, if you want a little bit of context, as of 2021. For more, let's bring in our China property analyst, Kristy Hong. Kristy, what a fascinating report. How do you think China got to this point?
Right. So I think what's shocking from the data is that sales actually went through the roof during the housing boom, but completions has been shrinking. It's stuck at around 700 million square meter a year. That's around half of the sales amount. And I think there are two problems here. What is obvious is that there's a funding issues for developers, but what is less known is that there's a construction capacity issue in China. Construction workers has been in decline in China. You're talking about aging population, and the younger generation, they're not interested in getting into a low-pay blue-collar job in construction. And what this is telling us is that even if the central bank is going to throw trillions into the housing sector today to try and help complete homes, this is not something that can be fixed in 1 or 2 years' time. In fact, at the current pace of completion, it is going to take 8 years to complete the unfinished homes.
And, this brings to mind the pre-selling model that not just in China, we see this in many property markets in the world, selling before you build it. But what does this then mean about this pre-sale model in China and whether or not things need to be shaken up and changed?
Yeah, so I think for this to drag on, there would be an ongoing crisis of confidence. Buyers would increasingly shun pre-sale homes and go for second-hand homes. And I think in one way or another, the pre-sales model has to go. And we need better consumer protection in China, not paying 100% for something that might not be delivered. And we actually need, something like the practice in developed economies for buyers to pay in installments according to construction progress, or maybe shift to sales of purely completed homes. And I think this is telling you that Chinese developers' model of rapid earnings growth is completely gone, and they can no longer use the sales proceeds from one project and try to fund investment into new projects.
And what does it tell us about the overall housing market that still struggles to recover? I mean, we saw those May rescue packages. We're not seeing anything in the data to suggest that things are actually turning around just yet.
Yes, so I think I talked about how home buyers, they would increasingly shift to second-hand homes. And then for homeowners that are stuck with these unfinished homes, we see an increasing rates of mortgage boycotts if this is going to drag on for 8 years. And we saw the regulators try to push out funding like from the whitelist to try and help accelerate completions. This is not doing the industry any good in terms of accelerating construction in the industry. And then what we're seeing right now is there's still risk of some developers' projects might never get completed.